now let's take a look at competency 8, mentoring. So this is a natural progression coming from great feedback into mentoring, helping people grow beyond what they can become. So when we talk about mentoring, we are creating a relationship where leaders will be investing time and energy in supporting the long-term development of others. So think about your own journey. Can you remember someone who believed in you before you believed in yourself? Maybe it was a professor who encouraged you to keep pushing when you thought about giving up, or perhaps a senior colleague who not only gave you advice, but opened doors of opportunity you didn't even know existed. Many times, those moments stick with us for a lifetime. That changed our life completely. So, in healthcare and other high pressure environments, mentoring becomes even more critical. Staff are constantly juggling urgent responsibilities, and without a constant guidance, it's easy to feel lost or stagnant. A highly effective mentor doesn't just tell the staff what to do today, they help them see what is possible for tomorrow. They help the staff to reflect on their aspirations, identify their strength, and even create a roadmap forward. So, when we look at this competency, we are asking some fundamental questions. How do we create relationships that lift people beyond their current role? How do we balance giving direction, yet giving them freedom on how to operate, what to operate, when to operate, all of those? And how do we model the kind of leadership that inspires others to pay it forward? The truth is, every one of us has the opportunity to mentor, whether it's someone on our team, a colleague in another department, or even a student who just starting out. And often the ripple effect of mentoring can go far beyond what we can imagine. So let's, in a similar flow for the other competencies, let's start with what is mentoring and why does it matter? So the moment you talk about mentoring, or the moment mentoring comes to your mind, we should think about investment. Not investment in terms of money or resources, but investing in people. So mentoring truly means investing in someone's growth, helping them see possibilities they might not have even covered or considered, and walking with them as they navigate the challenges and opportunities. So think about the best mentors you have had. They didn't just give you instructions, they gave you perspective, they gave you encouragement, they sometimes offered tough love. They saw potential in you that you couldn't see in yourself. That's what mentoring is all about. Supporting aspirations and development, not just job performance. No, let's think about what do highly effective leaders do when they mentor. They go beyond day-to-day management. They don't just focus on whether tasks are completed. They focus on the person behind the task. They encourage to develop skills, support career advancement, and open doors that otherwise would stay closed. So mentoring is also not a one-size-fits-all activity. The best mentors adapt to the needs of their people while keeping their eyes on long-term growth. So let's walk through how will highly effective leaders carry specific activities when they do the mentoring. So first is taking a comprehensive approach. Focus on all staff, not just problem solvers. Many leaders make the mistake of only mentoring their top performers or the people who make the most noise. But effective leaders understand that everyone on the team deserves mentoring. Imagine a hospital department where a few senior nurses are always given attention, while newer or quieter nurses are overlooked. Over time, those newer nurses disengage. A comprehensive approach means spreading mentorship across the team so that the hidden potential is not missed. Number two, building relationships. Listen actively and align mentoring with individual goals. So, mentoring, as we discussed, it's about building a relationship of trust. A good mentor always asks, what do you hope to achieve in the next 5 years? And then align the guidance to meet those aspirations. In healthcare, a resident physician might share interest in global health. A strong mentor could say, let me connect you with our international or a global program lead. That connection shows listening and alignment with the individual's goals. The third important point is how effective leaders would demonstrate this is follow through. Consistent meetings and accountability in every meetings. So think of a leader who meets quarterly with a staff member to revisit the career development plan. That consistency builds trust and sends the message, I am invested in your success. Without follow through, mentoring feels like empty words. Participating in staff development actively support growth opportunities. So effective mentors don't just talk about the development, they create opportunities. For example, a leader might nominate a junior colleague for a leadership training or encourage them to present at a conference. These actions show that development isn't optional or nice to have. It's a core part of professional growth. One mentor I know always says, don't just keep learning in the classroom, put yourself in rooms where you're slightly uncomfortable because that's where the growth happens. Number five, encouraging growth. Support promotions while planning for succession. Here is the most selfless part of mentoring. Preparing people to move beyond you. Effective leaders don't just hoard talent, they release it. They encourage staff to go after promotions and prepare them for those roles, even if it means losing them from their team. So a department head might actively mentor a nurse manager to step into the director level position. It definitely hurts to let them go. But succession planning ensures that organization keeps thriving, and great leaders know their legacy is not in the work they have done, but in the people that they have raised. So now let's think about when mentoring is not all it could be. So even with the best intentions, mentoring can fall short. Sometimes it's not about what leaders do, it's about what they don't do. Let's walk through some of the common pitfalls. Number one, undervaluing mentoring, seeing it as an optional but not an essential. One of the biggest mistakes is when leaders view mentoring as a nice to have instead of an essential responsibility. For example, I've seen managers say, I don't have time to mentor. I need to focus on operations. What they don't realize is that mentoring actually strengthens operations in the long run. Staff would become more capable, more engaged, and more independent. Neglecting mentoring often leads to higher turnover and lower morale. Second one, undervaluing staff development, which means ignoring growth opportunities. So let's take a look at a young analyst on a hospital strategy team who expressed interest in data science training, but her manager never encouraged her or gave her time to pursue it. Within a year, she left for another hospital that invested in her development. Organizations that fail to value growth will lose good people, and leaders who ignore development create disengaged teams. Number three, being too possessive. This is very common. Leaders sometimes don't want to let go of their best people because they fear losing talent. A supervisor might even unconsciously block a nurse from applying for a leadership role in another unit because you're too valuable here. While it may feel like a short-term win, it sends the message that the leader is more interested in control than in the staff's future. In the long run, the staff member often leaves the organization altogether, and effective mentoring requires courage to let people grow beyond your team. Now, lacking mentoring skills, failing to give development feedback. Some leaders care deeply but don't know how to mentor effectively. They may avoid giving developmental feedback because they fear hurt feelings. The problem is, without honest and constructive input, people don't grow. For example, a medical resident may keep making small errors in documentation. If the mentor only says you're doing fine instead of guiding improvement, the resident misses the chance to strengthen skills, and that skills, those errors will become deep rooted as she progresses in her career. So leaders must develop the skill of offering feedback, which is specific, balanced, and actionable, which we saw in the previous competency, giving great feedback. So now let's take a look at misuse and overuse of mentoring. Like other leadership skills, mentoring is also powerful. But when misused or overdone, it can backfire. Let's take a look at common areas where misuse and overuse happen. Imagine a manager who decides to send one staff member to a leadership workshop, but never explain why that person was chosen. So others in the team might wonder, why not me? Does my growth not matter to you? Even if the choice was fair, poor communication erodes trust. A good mentor doesn't just make developmental decisions, they explain to the team so everyone understands how opportunities are distributed. Number two, overemphasizing star performers, which gives the message you are neglecting the other staff. So we have seen many times leaders who pour all their energy into their star employees, leaving the rest of the team feeling invisible. And this happens many times. And the risk here is disengagement. Those overlooked will stop trying, assume they will never be noticed. And effective mentoring requires balance, developing stars and lifting others. Failing to address problems, avoiding accountability conversations. Sometimes leaders mentor only by encouraging growth, but avoid the tough conversations, which is accountability. If a nurse continuously arrives late for handovers, and if a mentor thinks, oh, I don't want to discourage them, so I will let it slide. But avoiding that conversation doesn't help the staff member to grow. So true mentoring means celebrating strength and addressing the areas for improvement, even when it is comfortable. Last point or last attribute we have seen more often is focusing excessively on growth without balance. So we saw the reverse in the previous competency. If a junior staff member pushed into new projects, and if his or her assignments are stretched back to back without support, instead of helping them, you're burning them out. Growth is important, but it needs pacing and balance. Leaders most of the time should ask, am I helping this person develop or am I overwhelming them? So mentoring misuse, it's not about bad intention. It's probably the imbalance. The key and the foundation is transparency, fairness, courage to address problems, and pacing growth at the right speed. Now let's ask question, how can I become a better mentor? So mentoring is not just helping others. It's about continuously developing ourselves as leaders. Number one, always in other competencies, finding the role model, the leaders who possess strong mentoring skills. So think about someone in your career who made you feel seen, supported, and guided. Maybe it was a professor who took extra time to help you, or a supervisor who believed in you when you doubted yourself, and study what they did differently. I remember a senior physician who never ended a meeting without asking, what do you need from me to succeed? That simple question shaped how I mentor others today. Great mentors don't just inspire, they leave behind the patterns so that others can follow. Commit to a personal development. This is not like once and done it for forever. This is a skill. It takes practice and it takes continuous development. Leaders need to constantly ask, am I listening more or am I talking more? Am I offering guidance that empowers rather than directing them? For example, some executives join coaching circles or leadership academies or leadership institutes to refine their skills. Just as we expect our teams to grow, we must also model growth for ourselves. Encourage staff to seek opportunities for growth inside and outside the organization. Good mentors open doors for talent to grow. Imagine a hospital administrator encouraging a nurse to present at a national conference. The opportunity not only builds the nurse's confidence, but also bring recognition to others. So this helps the nurse to seek out zones of opportunities outside of their team, and people would feel the leaders are investing their time and energy, and loyalty definitely deepens. So American College of Healthcare Executives, they offer a lot of leadership program and structured mentoring. It can be formal mentoring. The ACHE's leadership initiative have distinct framework, resources, and accountability. They give mentors and mentees a structured path so the relationship is productive and measurable. And a mentor who pairs informal guidance with formal programs create the best of the both worlds, personal connections and professional rigor. So becoming a better mentor is not about perfection. It's about reflection. It's about modeling growth. It's about opening door for others and using the tools that is available, not within just within your institution, but outside, so that the process can be strengthened. The best mentors, I would say, are also better learners or the best learners. So as we close mentoring, let's take few key aspects. Mentoring supports long-term growth, build long-term relationships and retention. It's not just about helping someone in the moment, it's about shaping their future and strengthening the organization. Effective leaders balance staff development, encouragement, and accountability. Let's not forget the risk. Poor mentoring can undervalue staff or focus too much on a select few. And finally, the best mentors never forget where they came from. They remember the people who guided them and pay it forward. So the real question is, who are you mentoring today? And how will they describe your impact tomorrow? Thank you so much. It's a short yet very impactful competency where you need to continuously reflect, practice, learn, model, and move forward. Thank you, class.